Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Malik Hodge, and this is We Reflect the Light. This is where we look at current events that are taking place in the world today through the lens of the unsealed scriptures of the Bible. That gives us detailed information on what is taking place in the world today and what is going to take place. Sisters and brothers, we are at war. This presentation, sisters and brothers, we're going to speak directly from the war and connect the war directly with the original black man and woman in America. And that war is the war that is taking place in heaven, the war in the Middle East. So let's get right into it. Revelations 12, chapter 12, verses 7 through 9 states, "And occurred war in the heaven. The Michael and the angels of him other to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it. And not it proved strong, not but place was found of them, yet in the heaven. And was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil and the Satan, the making to air the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown." Sisters and brothers, this scripture shares with us that war occurred in heaven. The Michael and the angels of him other to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it. So this war is between Michael and his angels, and the dragon and his angels. Now, the scriptures state, "And not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven. And was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil and the Satan, the making to air the being inhabited whole. He was thrown, the dragon was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown." So this is sharing that the dragon and his angels were thrown out of heaven. Now, sisters and brothers, you have to understand that the Middle East is heaven. Now, you definitely wouldn't be able to see a war in this make-believe heaven that is shared with you, that exists from the devils or through Christianity. This heaven that is somewhere out there in space that you go to once you're dead. Now, sisters and brothers, Michael and his angels will go to war with the dragon and his angels. Michael is Master Farad Muhammad, and his angels are Iran and Syria. The dragon, sisters and brothers, is the house of Saudi Arabia. And his angels are Britain, false Israel, and America. Now, all four of these countries are at war as we speak with Iran. These are the four countries that openly entered into the war against Iran. The dragon and his angels. Now, the dragon is the house of Saudi Arabia, who is fueling this devil and Satan's reality. Now, sisters and brothers, in this scripture, now, we're being told by the scripture, the unsealed scripture, that the dragon and his angels will be thrown out of heaven, thrown into the earth. Now, sisters and brothers, this means that the house of Saudi Arabia, Britain, and America will be thrown out of the Middle East, which is heaven. This is the war that we're witnessing. Now, this is the outcome of this war, which is coming more into fruition by the minute, by the day. Now, sisters and brothers, false Israel is false. They're not God's chosen people. They have stolen our identity, the original black man and woman. They're claiming that they are the true seed of Abraham. However, sisters and brothers, false Israel will be sieged and then destroyed, which, will clear the air of the truth of who false Israel is. Now, false Israel's destruction is going to destroy this lie, this religious eschatology that has been pushed by our open enemies, by America, by Britain, by the Catholic and Christians, that false Israel is God's chosen people. Now, America and Britain set false Israel up, sisters and brothers, in 1948 to counter the narrative of Elijah Muhammad claimed that the original black man and woman of America, in America, are the true seed of Abraham. Now, sisters and brothers, we're looking on at the war in the Middle East, in heaven. There's no coincidence in the reason why these four countries are engaged in war with Iran. Now, sisters and brothers, these are three of these countries, Britain, false Israel, and America, are nuclear powered state countries. America, Britain, and false Israel are at the leadership role of these Caucasian nations that rules this reality. Now, sisters and brothers, clearly, this reality is being ruled by the Caucasian nations. America and Britain are the two world powers that has ruled this reality and ruled the this world as we know it. So in this war that we're witnessing, you have the so-called two or three, the three nations that are ruling this reality. And they're all America, Britain, and false Israel, as well as the dragon, are all sitting in heaven, occupying land in heaven. So, the scripture, this war that we're witnessing, is taking place. This war is cleaning heaven out of the dragon, the devil, the archaic, Satan. They are all being thrown out of heaven. They're all being removed out of heaven. Now, sisters and brothers, this war began with the U.S. and false Israel attacking Iran. Which in the second attack on Iran from the U.S. and Israel, America murdered, assassinated best word. Iran's supreme leader, and also in that same attack killed 80, I want to say at least 80. I don't know the exact, I can remember the final total number. However, it was at least 80 young school girls. Now, sisters and brothers, America, Britain, false Israel, and the dragon. All four of these countries are at war with Iran. And Iran has been able to sustain and sustain and defend its people and its country, and have been able to deliver severe um, strikes, severe strikes on America's military infrastructure, false Israel's military infrastructure, Iran has been able to carry out let's say it like this, a successful military campaign against all three of these nuclear powered countries and against the House of Saud, Saudi Arabia. to the point, looking on, they underestimated Iran by they underestimated Iran. Now, sisters and brothers, we're witnessing Iran controlling what they call the Strait of Hormuz. That 20% of the world's crude oil and travel through. Now, Iran has closed the strait, and this closure of the Strait of Hormuz is building severe pressure on the world's economic on the world's energy and economics. Now, choking the economies of many nations. Now, sisters and brothers, the lack of energy means what can run with no energy? The nations you have to have energy to be able to function. So this Strait of Hormuz is keeping or blocking many nations from being able to transit and to receive oil, gas, and not just those things. You have other natural resources that also come through the Strait of Hormuz that is not being provided or accessible to the world. Now, sisters and brothers, this let me see something. Is going to affect the world's economy. It is going to crash the world's economy. Now, sisters and brothers, let's get back to this. All right. All right. Now, the effect on the world's economy, sisters and brothers, is being felt around the world as we speak. Gas prices are constantly rising, and soon there will be even gas shortages. Now, gas prices are pushing food prices up. It is just a domino effect taking place. Energy prices are going up. So we're finding ourselves being pushed into a situation that is going to soon spiral out of control. That is, will have that will affect the original black man and woman and their families and our families of how we eat, work. It's gonna be a direct effect on our people. Now, sisters and brothers, those it seems have savings, a little more money, can hold out and stabilize for a longer time than the average black or original people's family. However, in while witnessing and understanding what's taking place and how it is affecting nations. America, or Donald Trump, has not um, Donald Trump has not gave way to Iran to come up with an agreement to bringing this war to an end, and or to relieve the energy situation that is taking place, that is affecting the nations of the world, that is affecting the poor immediately as we speak. Sisters and brothers, Donald Trump has to back up false Israel because false Israel was set up by Britain and America to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim of that we are the true seed of Abraham. Now, they have to hold or try to hold on to this theology, this theology that they have been pushing their reality on with this idol, this lie of false Israel, that America and Britain has used throughout the world. Now, let's say it like this. Sisters and brothers, now Satan is false Israel. The devils, America, is Caucasian white men. America and Britain. These two world powers. Now, false Israel is set up by America and Britain to block our claim. Now, the House of Saudi Arabia, is claiming that they're God's chosen people as well. They're claiming that they have a right to Arabia. And they have put their title in front of Arabia. Now, sisters and brothers, again, these are the dragon and his angels. The dragon is sitting on our land. False Israel has stolen our identity. America has us physically, mentally, and refuses to let us go. Now, let's I'm gonna do that. Now, sisters and brothers, the scriptures, the unsealed scriptures, is shared with us from Matthew. We're going into this to understand that the war that we're witnessing. Let me see what we are at time. Okay. Is the war in heaven. And each character has been explained in detail. So these are the main characters that are at war with Iran in the Middle East. Now, the unsealed scripture shares with us, the messenger of the covenant shares with us through the unsealed scriptures, that the outcome of this war. And has been consistently be giving us the outcome of the war far in advance. Now, every day, every second, it comes more into the light of the outcome of the war in the Middle East. And it's shaping up more and more every day as it's been shared. Any day, sisters and brothers. Any day. The war will intensify again, which is going to cause Iran to respond and America will be thrown totally out the Middle East. America's military bases will be totally destroyed in the Middle East. The House of Saud, Saudi Arabia, will be, the leadership will be destroyed. Let's say, ran out, thrown out. And false Israel will be sieged because they will not leave. They're sitting there. Britain and America will just be thrown out and won't be able to come back and assist false Israel. So, sisters and brothers, we're going to get into this, what the scriptures are sharing about the war. Now, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Now, Daniel the prophet is the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, Master Suleiman, who has been sharing with us what the abomination of desolation is. The abominable, cruel destruction that is taking place in the Holy Land. Where is the Holy Land? In Palestine, in Jerusalem. Sisters and brothers, this is what the scriptures sharing with us. This abominable, cruel destruction. We're witnessing false Israel suppress Hamas's uprising with abominable, cruel destruction, and has been carrying out genocide since 2023 on the Palestinian people. Now, scripture is sharing with us, when we see this abomination of desolation standing in the holy place, to understand what we're witnessing. It says when we see. That's why it says when we see. Now, when we see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. So it's an abomination that is causing destruction. This abomination that is causing destruction standing where it does not belong. False Israel do not belong in the Middle East. They don't belong there. So when you see this abomination, that's an abomination that's causing desolation. that's causing destruction all throughout the Middle East and the world. Now, sisters and brothers, you can say the world because false Israel is the reason why Iran is being attacked. Now, their Greater Israel plans, and they see Iran is the only thing that stands in false Israel's way. Now, sisters and brothers, let's move on. All right. Now, but when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize her. When you see Jerusalem, where is Jerusalem at? Who is that speaking on? So when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize that her desolation is near. That is sharing with us, recognize false Israel's desolation, destruction is near. Again, false Israel is surrounded by armies. America and Britain has been thrown out the Middle East. And now there's no one there to save or protect false Israel. So Iran and it's the resistance, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Pakistan, all surrounded false Israel. And false Israel is sieged and will be destroyed. However, false Israel will sit alone in the Middle East, alone in heaven, and undergo they will experience consequent, like they will, what they have caused on the Palestinian people, false Israel is going to see that answer. False Israel will be sieged. False Israel will be there without water, drinking piss, eating shit. No help coming in to assist them. No food, the same thing, that same thinking that they have applied on the Palestinian people is coming back on them double. False Israel will be seen and watched by camera, drone footage of them eating each other. eating their children. Now, sisters and brothers, before they're totally destroyed. No water, drinking their own urine. It's gonna have no water. The desalination plants will be destroyed. Sisters and brothers, let's move on. All right, gotta move quick. Now, what we're witnessing, you say, Abram's vision and the Abrahamic covenant. How is this directly connected to the original black man and woman here in America? Now, sisters and brothers, America, Britain, these are the superpowers. These are the two superpowers. This is the rulers of this reality. False Israel is the head. It's the spirit. That's Satan. These are the superpower. These are the rulers of this reality. That is, you have to understand this. This is the fall of their rulership, their leader. They're losing. They are losing their control, their grip. Of the world. And in losing their control, their grip, they're going to get more and more violent. And when they see, sisters and brothers, that there's no way they're in a situation to where there's no way out. First of all, let's speak on false Israel, who has what they call the Samson clause or a Samson agree, something called Samson, law or whatever, that in the event that they can't see a way out of their destruction or their destruction as a state or nation, they have a Samson clause that they state that if it comes to them being removed or displaced or destroyed, that in that event of happening, they will use nuclear weapons to attack their enemies. So they're saying, if we'll start a nuclear war. We're gonna shoot nukes. If it comes to the point to where we're being destroyed, we're gonna shoot nukes. So that's a clause that they have that That's their option that they're going to take. And they're going to take it. The unsealed scripture lets us know that is an option that they're going to try to take, but they will not be successful. When they do that, they will see who Master Farah Muhammad and his ships are. Matter of fact, they know the capabilities of Master Farah Muhammad and his ships. However, they're going to see it firsthand. Sisters and brothers, the Abrahamic covenant. Abram's vision gives a detailed description of Abram's seeds sojourn in the strange land that they would be in. Now, sisters and brothers, we're witnessing America's destruction, America's fall, right in front of our face. Now, in understanding what we're witnessing, you have to understand who we are, who God's chosen people are, and why America and this reality is being brought down. It is directly connected to God's chosen people. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We're just going to run through it and give you it's a detailed, clear message written in the scripture 24,000 years in advance that gives you a clear, crystal clear message that in it being explained thoroughly, clearly, you should be easily understand, pick up, understand, and move out on the message. Now, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell up on Abram. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, God said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs. Sojourner means temporary stay in a land that is not theirs. And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, sisters and brothers, God's chosen people will be enslaved and afflicted. Abram seen this horror of his people being afflicted, murdered, hung, beat, raped, sodomized, what would you call that? Torn in half by horses, drugged to your death behind a horse, trampled by horses, skint, used for fine leathers, bodies are used for by this devil to just open you up with no anesthesia and to look at your organs and look at your body to just that you were eating, your children was fed to alligators and used for foot warmers and so many evil afflicted. It says 400 years. That means 24/7, 24 hours, 24/7 for 400 years. This will be the conditions for Abram's seed in this strange land. Sisters and brothers, we are the only people that are in a strange land. Now you can say, now South Africa, African nations that been suppressed, they wasn't in no strange land. They in their own land. These people came inside their land and colonialized, didn't colonize or colonialize them inside of their land. Now, we are in a strange land, a land that is not ours. And this system, the whole system is built on our back, built on the affliction of the original black man and woman. So the system itself is a system of afflicting the black man, the original man and woman, 24/7, 365. Every day, this system is built on afflicting us. We are animals. We're written as 3/5 of a human in their Constitution. The police, the penitentiary, the jails, all those things were made for us. They ship our jobs overseas. They constantly are attacking us, dealing with us shrewdly, constantly. Attacking us through the food, through the medical system, through their vaccines, consistently attacking the original black man and woman, our children, our black boys. This system, the school, everything about it is against us, sisters and brothers. That's what the scripture shared with us. That we will endure through for 400 years. That's exactly what we've done. And we have came to that 400-year period in time. Now, sisters and brothers, 1619 was the official start date of slavery here in America. 2019 was the official 400-year period of time. Now, we're looking on this war. And in looking on that, we have to understand who we are. Now, and also that nation whom they serve will I judge. And afterwards they shall come out with great substance. Thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation they shall come hither again. For the iniquities of the Amorites are not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a flaming torch that passed between these pieces. Now, the 400 years, 2020, came immediately after our 400-year period. 1619 to 2019 was that 400-year period. America's judgment began in 2020. 2020 has shifted America. America has not been the same. The world has not been the same since 2020. Now, sisters and brothers, COVID was told to the world that it was killing the elderly. Now, COVID is the plague that will kill the firstborn of Egypt or the Caucasian nations. A sign that the 400-year period is up and the judgment of America in the world, in their world, and their reality is being judged. Now, Satan and the devil, this reality, this is God's world. Excuse me, sisters and brothers. The God of hell, which is Satan and the devil, this is the devil's world. This world where this man that sheds his mischief and sheds blood. Now, this world is not by chance. America is losing its power, its authority, its control. It's losing it all. America is under judgment. And the scripture said, after that 400 years, we are coming out of America with great substance, with gold, with silver. We're coming out of here with the riches of America. Now, sisters and brothers, let us move on. So before we move on, we understand that we have been through this 400-year period. All the things, this darkness, this horror that Abram seen his seed go through, we have been through horror. What we call the horror, call a time horror. Here in the hills of North America. Now, sisters and brothers, now, in that day, this is Abrahamic covenant. This is our vision. This is what God, this is verse 18 in the same chapter. After Abram seen that vision and God shared that this will be taking place with your seed, they will be taken away and they will be afflicted for 400 years in this strange land. They will be enslaved and afflicted. And afterwards, I will judge that nation whom they serve. I will bring them out with great, in that fourth generation, I will bring them out with great substance, meaning that generation that came into that fourth generation, that 400-year period, that those living at that time, I will bring out with great substance. In that same day, God shared these things with Abram would take place. He said in that day, God made a covenant, said after sharing all those details of what we will go through and what we will, and how long we'll go through it, God said to Abram, God made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land. So the land from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, has already been given to Abram's seed. God has already made this covenant with Abram. Abram, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. Now, that God said, I've given this land, and God said, I will bring them out. I'm going to judge that nation. I'm going to bring them out with great substance, and I have given them, I have made a covenant with Abram that I have given them the land from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. Now, that means, he said, and in the fourth generation, they shall return hither again. Where Abram was dreaming at in this land of from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, they will share with that we're going to return to this land. It's already been given. But know that your seed will go through 400 years in this strange land. Then they're going to have to, I'm going to bring them out of that land. I'm going to judge that nation whom they serve. Now, sisters and brothers, we're looking at the war in the Middle East. And this land that God promised to Abram's seed. And because we are the people that have endured through this vision that gives a detailed act, that fits our reality, our lives, our existence here in this hell of America. We are Abram's seed. We are the true seed of Abraham, and we are going home. Now, okay, the land from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, is Arabia. That's the same land that the dragon, Saudi Arabia, is sitting on. The land in the Middle East that is being shared, that God made a covenant with Abram and has given this land to Abram's seed. Satan and the devil is sitting inside of the land. There let me say it like this, sisters and brothers. This is sharing with us. It's directly telling you that we are God's chosen people. We are the true seed of Abraham. And the land from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, is ours. God made a covenant with our father Abram and said, unto thy seed have I given this land. So the land is already ours. It's a covenant. I've given this land from the river Euphrates, from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. I've given them this land. So the house of Saud, Saudi Arabia, is sitting on our land. And God has given his word that's Abram's seed land. The ones that went through this 400 years. Now, sisters and brothers. Now, You're thinking that God is somewhere out here and you don't know who God is. But Elijah Muhammad shared with you that Master Fard Muhammad is the God. He's a main God, but he's the God of for right now. He is the God. And he has his ship. Sisters and brothers, the God and his Shia army, Iran, is at war with the rulers of this world. And Iran, as small, as minuscule as they seem, they're fighting, they're at war with the rulers of this world. Like, think on this, sisters and brothers. Russia hasn't went to war with America, Britain, and false Israel. China didn't do it. Korea, no, they didn't do that. They didn't know how it was going to pan out. They didn't know. Iran, it stood up against the dragon and its angels and has single-handedly tore them a new butt. Has stopped them in their tracks and is removing them from heaven, removing them from the Middle East. What is Iran's demand? Demand number one from Iran was, America, get your and go. Get out. Take false Israel with you. Get out. But now we're witnessing, and Iran is exposing, the dragon is the one fueling this. We know it. The dragon is the one paying, warning America in the Middle East to protect them, and they're trying to get America to defeat Iran. But all of their powers, all these three superpowers, these three super nations, as well as the dragon, cannot defeat Iran. Will not defeat Iran. And in trying to defeat Iran, is going to bring a collapse on the world economy and will bring false Israel's destruction in front of the world. The world will witness first false Israel being destroyed. America and Britain kicked out the Middle East. And the dragon, Saudi Arabia, the royal families that sit in the Middle East, that the royal regimes, they're all going to be removed. You can see that, and it's coming more and more into light. Sisters and brothers, this is the connection. This is easily shared. Your land, our land, it's already spoken. It was spoken 24,000 years ago. It was ours then. We just had to go through the 400-year period. We had to be took from our land. We had to go through the 400 years. That's a process to make us into gods. That's a whole nother story. However, it's already written. We've already endured through the 400 years. We're watching. This is America. Who's holding us? They the ones are being judged. So everything that they do is going to backfire against them. Their power, everything, they have lost everything. They're losing it, and they're losing it rapidly. Sisters and brothers, this is why, this is how what we're witnessing in the world is directly connected to the original black man and woman. For 100 years after it, we're going to be brought out with great substance. After that 400 years, that nation whom they serve, I will judge them. America is under judgment. The world is under judgment. This world is Satan's and the devil's and Satan's world. And they're all together. The dragon, it tells you, the dragon, the devil, and Satan, the archaic, they all together in this war in heaven, which is in the Middle East. This is easily, you can easily identify. Gog and Magog. The two superpowers. Britain, Gog, America, and Magog, the mother of Gog. And false Israel. They set false Israel up. And the dragon, who is fueling their world, their reality. He's been set in our land. He's been made rich sitting in our land. He's not there. Now, I'm just going to call it how it is. The angel shares, the scriptures share that they're They're Indians. Now, in reading and doing research, they share that they're Indian Jews. Jews, Indian Jews. What is an Indian Jews? Well, a Jew that look like an Indian. They got Indian descent or something, but they're Jews. Well, a Jewish father with an Indian mother. That's an Indian Jew. What is a black-faced Jew? Louis Farrakhan, a Jewish father with a black mother. He's a Jew, a black-faced Jew, an Indian Jew. Is that what they are? But they're Indians. They're not Muslims. They've been set up on our land. They're all being removed, sisters and brothers. There's no coincidence why this is happening now. All the scriptures are being unfolded in front of our eyes. Now, we're going to bring this to a close, sisters and brothers. Man, supposed to be at close 37 minutes ago. We're going to bring this to a close. What we're witnessing in the Middle East, in heaven, the outcome of it, we've shared it many times. Iran will be the victor. America and Britain will be thrown out the Middle East. The house of Saudi Arabia, will be ran out the Middle East. Their leadership faction. They will be ran out of the Middle East, out of heaven. False Israel will be sieged and destroyed in the face of the world. And the world will know that there's no connection to false Israel and God. They're not God's chosen people, and no rapture is jumping out the sky doing anything, and nothing's coming to save false Israel. And the world will know without a doubt that we, the original black man and woman here in the hills of North America, are God's chosen people, are the true seed of Abraham, Abraham's seed that has been in this strange land and afflicted in this strange land, which is going to point out to the world who you all been cursing, who you all had your foot on the back of, the neck of, who you all walked on. And left for dead. No one see or come. No one expected. Oh, can't be them. You all gonna find out that it's most definitely us. Without a doubt. Crystal clear that the original black man and woman of America are Abraham's seed. Sisters and brothers, this is the connection. We are connected to the scriptures, and all the scriptures are being fulfilled. After that 400 years, everything will be made new. This world, as you know it, is being destroyed. And our new reality, our vision is being brought in. Sisters and brothers, we will be attacked by America. They're setting up this attack. They've already set it up. They got a snare set for you. They're going to attack us all before false Israel is destroyed. Because once false Israel is destroyed, everything is going to be crystal clear of who we are. We will immediately come alive and understand. We're going to immediately unite and rise as a mighty. Immediately, that the blockage, the things that they are blocking us from understanding who we are, brothers and sisters. They are blocking us, and we are going to come together overnight as a mighty army, as a mighty nation. And yes, we have to endure through, we have to go through a time of unprecedented trouble, which is tribulations, a time like never before, a time even, it says like never before. That means it's even worse than our experience in the Holocaust. However, sisters and brothers, we will have our 5 pillars of Islam, and we'll be given the Injil, our new mind, and with them, not a hair on our head will be touched. Sisters and brothers, the messenger of the covenant will suddenly appear in the messenger's temple. Flee to the messenger of the covenant. Assalamu alaikum.